My name is Rick Maloney. I live in Mooroopna, Victoria, and this is my home. The 22 October floods came through, and it came from north, south, east and west, entrapping me into my property, and does what floods does and causes havoc. We lodged an insurance claim with Amy in January after the floods, purely because I was going through the shed and I thought, oh, everything's still wet, I'm going to have to go through all this. The house being on stumps, and I know that over the next couple of years it's going to move, it's going to sink, it's going to expose a lot more damage to the house than what the house is going to be exposed to in the short 4 or 5 months after the initial damage. To achieve the outcome that I've achieved with AFCA, I had the initial reports from the initial builder that Amy bought. Then I had the independent, in which I sent through to AFCA because I wasn't happy with the information being relayed back from the initial builder. I had a friend who's a builder. He came and done a quote for me and on the damages, etc., and he put together a professional quote for me. I also used his engineer to come and redo floor levels, etc., in which they proved to be different to Amy's initial engineers and builders levels, and it showed that the house was still moving, still dropping in places, etc. So we put that to the insurer 6 or 8 months prior to the initial outcome, but they didn't want to sort of know about that, and that figure was in ballpark pretty much around the figure that we ended up agreeing on. So, and then I had the toadstools coming through the floor, so I had to wait for the insurer to send out a hydrologist to do air samples, etc. again, and that took about 3 months or more. It was just sort of stop, start, and just the process is to annoy me enough that I just give up and walk away, or I take a lesser payment. The initial payment was a duck egg. I wasn't walking away. Yeah, look, Amy's initial presence and the guys that were with Amy, the hydrologist and the builder, the preferred builder, to do the quote and the observation of damage. So within that, they really make you feel it's all lies, deceit and manipulation with whatever they tell you, because they're not looking at the problem, they're looking at the way to get out of it. So they're looking at the roof, and if there's a watermark, that's why you're flooded. If you got a tree, the roots are what makes your house move. If it's just a lot of stuff that's not warranted and really not comforting when you're trying to get a claim up and going to get your house fixed.
Unfortunately, the issues that Rick experienced with his insurer are common issues that we hear from other people on the phones, particularly when affected by serious disaster events like Rick was, which is really concerning because often that's an extremely challenging time in people's lives and they're often traumatised, and yet there are serious delays in the handling of their claim and often parts of their claims declined, and insurers just, instead of finding a way to accept the claim and to help these people, just taking that route of declining the claim under the policy. So if people find themselves in this type of situation that Rick did, they should remember that if they get a no from their insurer, that might not be the end of the road. They should push back, they should get advice, they should follow up these other avenues to try and get a better outcome to their complaint.
December 24, it was the week leading up to Christmas, where they wanted to get it closed out so they didn't have to deal with it after Christmas, which was good of them, kind of them, to look after me in that way. But after 2 years, it was the least they could do.